America has just expanded its travel ban, sending shockwaves through international airports and diplomatic circles alike. The move has sparked confusion and concern among travelers, families, and officials around the globe. And this time, the focus is squarely on Africa, a continent with deep historical, economic, and cultural ties to the United States. The new restrictions have left many African nations reeling, as they try to understand the full impact on their citizens and economies. The Trump administration, in June 2025, more than doubled the list of countries facing U.S. entry restrictions. This decision came after months of internal debate and mounting pressure to tighten border security. Out of 36 countries now targeted, 25 are in Africa, nearly half the continent. The sheer scale of this expansion is unprecedented, affecting millions of people from Dakar to Nairobi, from Lagos to Addis Ababa. This isn't a minor update, it's a sweeping policy shift, closing doors for millions. Families are being separated, students are left in limbo, and businesses are scrambling to adjust to the new reality. A classified cable from Secretary of State Marco Rubio gave embassies a list of demands: comply or face the consequences. The message was clear. The U.S. expects immediate action on security protocols, data sharing, and border management. The message: fix your security systems, or your citizens won't be visiting, studying, or working in the U.S. anymore. For many, this means dreams put on hold, opportunities lost, and futures rewritten. Diplomats are scrambling to respond, holding emergency meetings and reaching out to Washington for answers. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens are left wondering how they landed on this list, and what it means for their families and futures. President Trump promised a bigger ban, and he's delivered. Supporters say it's about national security, but critics argue it's a blunt instrument that punishes innocent people and sours international relations. This isn't just about visas. It's a fundamental change in how America engages with the world. The ripple effects will be felt in classrooms, boardrooms, and living rooms across continents. Is this about security, or is it a new kind of wall, one built not of concrete but of policy and paperwork? The world is watching as the U.S. redefines who gets to experience the land of the free. Allies and adversaries alike are reassessing their relationship with America in light of these sweeping changes. Let's break down what this means and explore the real-world consequences for millions of people on both sides of the Atlantic. So, who's on the list? The announcement sent shockwaves across the globe as people scrambled to find out which countries were affected and what it would mean for their futures. 25 African nations from Nigeria and Egypt to Ghana and Ethiopia are at the heart of this sweeping policy. The list includes countries with booming economies, rich cultures, and millions of people who have long had ties to the U.S. The ban sweeps across the continent, hitting economic giants and small island nations alike. From bustling cities to remote villages, the impact is felt everywhere, disrupting lives and plans in ways big and small. It's not just Africa. Caribbean countries like Antigua and Barbuda, and Asian nations like Cambodia and Syria are included too. The reach of the ban stretches far beyond one region, affecting families and communities on 3 continents. But the focus on Africa is what stands out, painting the continent with a broad brush. Critics argue that this approach ignores the diversity and unique circumstances of each nation, reducing them to a single narrative. The U.S. says these countries failed to meet security standards, but critics see bias. Human rights groups and affected communities have called out what they see as unfair targeting and discrimination. For millions, this isn't just paperwork, it's a barrier to family, education, and opportunity. Students with dreams of studying abroad, parents hoping to reunite with children, and professionals seeking new careers are all left in limbo. The list lumps together countries with vastly different histories and relationships with the U.S. Some have been close allies, others have had complicated pasts, but now they all face the same restrictions. For many, a passport from these nations is now a mark of suspicion. Travelers face extra scrutiny, and the stigma can follow them even outside official borders. The question remains, can these countries get off the list before the door slams shut? The clock is ticking, and for those affected, every day brings new uncertainty and hope for change. The U.S. didn't just announce the ban. It set a brutal deadline, one that sent shockwaves through governments across Africa and beyond. The clock is ticking, and the pressure is on. Countries now have just 60 days to completely overhaul their security systems, a task that would challenge even the most advanced nations. If they fail, they face a full or partial ban on entry to the U.S., a consequence with far-reaching implications. Imagine being told to revamp your entire national ID system, update databases and implement new technology, all in just 2 months. The logistical nightmare is almost unimaginable. The stakes are enormous. Lose access to US visas, and it's not just tourism that suffers. Business, education, and family ties are all at risk. For many, the American dream could suddenly be out of reach. These are changes that usually take years, not weeks. Governments are scrambling to hire experts, buy equipment, and train staff, all while racing against the relentless countdown. Failure doesn't just mean missing a deadline, it means isolation from the world's largest economy, a blow that could cripple trade, investment, and international cooperation. The urgency is immense and the threat is real. Every day officials face mounting pressure from citizens, businesses, and international partners. Is this truly about improving security, or is it a pretext for a wider ban? Many are left questioning the motives behind the move, fueling protests and heated debates. Many countries are scrambling to comply, but with limited resources and time, success seems nearly impossible. The sense of desperation is palpable. The world is watching closely, wondering if this is a genuine partnership or simply strong-arm diplomacy by the US. The outcome will send a message far beyond Africa. The decisions made in these 60 days will shape not just the future of travel, but the very nature of global relations for years to come. The travel ban's impact goes far beyond airports. It hits economies hard. Tourism is the first casualty. Egypt, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, countries that rely on American visitors, face huge losses. Heritage tourism, vital for places like Ghana and Nigeria, is threatened. Small businesses, from market vendors to tech startups, will feel the squeeze. The ban severs economic and cultural ties, dismantling bridges built over decades. Less tourism means fewer jobs, less foreign currency, and more instability. Ironically, economic hardship can fuel the very security issues the ban claims to address. The policy could destabilize entire regions. What's the official reason? National security. The US says many targeted nations can't issue reliable passports or IDs. High rates of visa overstays and lack of cooperation on deportations are also cited. The administration claims the ban pressures governments to fix these issues. Corruption and citizenship for investment programs are other concerns. The US fears these loopholes could let bad actors in. There's even mention of anti-Semitic and anti-American activity, though details are vague. The narrative: this is a reluctant but necessary step to protect America. Critics say it's more about politics than real security. The policy is framed as prudent, but the scope is unprecedented. Is it about safety or something else? The debate rages on. The backlash was swift and fierce. Civil rights groups and lawmakers call the policy discriminatory and xenophobic. Critics point to the focus on black and brown nations as evidence of bias. They argue the ban punishes millions of innocents and alienates allies. Cutting off travel makes security cooperation harder, not easier. The echoes of the 2017 Muslim ban are loud. This feels like Act 2. Legal challenges are likely, but the precedent is set. Critics say national security is being used to justify discrimination. The ban divides the world along lines of race and geography. True security, they argue, comes from engagement, not isolation. The diplomatic fallout is already unfolding. For African nations, this is more than paperwork, it's a public rebuke. Many see themselves as US partners, now branded as security risks. The move could push these countries toward China or Russia. Expect official protests and a strong response from the African Union. The US risks being seen as an unreliable partner, making future cooperation harder. Is this ban justified security or a self-defeating policy? The answer will shape America's global standing for years. The world is watching and waiting.